What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy D Brown, here today to give my reaction to Sean Payton's message to the media, the fans, Broncos country, anybody that was wondering if Jeudy and Sutton will be traded this off season at the annual coaches meeting. And first things first, let's listen to the clip. Play the clip.
New coach, not a real deep receiver draft. Look, I've been. You read a bunch of these things that are written now, and I would say a number of teams have called on those players. But I said it yesterday. It's not something we're interested in doing. So you'd have to do your homework, and you can figure out how it all got started. But obviously, in the off season, everyone wants to be on top of any type of transaction. I understand that, and it'll continue, I'm sure, as we get closer to the draft. If you really look at the draft and you look at the receiver depth in the draft, it's not a real deep draft. So if you're a team that's looking for receivers, we're not the only team people called. I'm sure Houston with Brandon Cooks, other players like that. It's pretty common in the offseason, I think.
As you've done.
All right, so my initial thoughts when I heard that, honestly, I just thought they weren't offered enough to get rid of those guys. Do I think they were willing to? Yes, but I was sure that the price is pretty steep. A lot of people think Sutton is good for a day 3 trade. Nah. Apparently, the Broncos wanted at least a day 2 for Sutton. Jeudy, day 1. Day 1 and maybe something else. And in my opinion, it's clear to me that if they weren't going to get those, for those players, they weren't willing to give them up. And I think that's where the debunking came from today. I do think that they would have done it though. They would have done it if the price was right. They would have done it. Also, KJ Hamler just partially tore his pec 4 to 6 months. The doctor is saying so. The likelihood of them trading him now greatly diminishes because you can't trade an injured KJ Hamler. He's injured and nobody's going to want him. So you need to keep those guys around, and you need to keep a little bit of familiarity. Russ has built a little bit of a familiarity with these two players. Sutton more towards the beginning of last season, and then towards the end of the last season, him and Jeudy's connection became a little bit better. So I think that's what's really happening. Could they still trade them? Yes, but I don't see that happening unless we are losing. Russ is horrible. Nothing is working, and we need to get a couple of draft picks for next year. So at the trade line, look out. I think the next date to look out for, the trade line usually is like October, November. Look out for that date. But as of right now, don't think they're going anywhere. This is not a deep wide receiver class, which is why I didn't want them to get rid of him. And he addressed it in that video. So I love that he's smart enough to recognize that. Now, anything can happen. It's a business. Someone could come with a deal at the last minute, and then boom, they'll be right all there. These words don't mean nothing, but if you just look at everything, all the optics of the whole situation, it is beneficial for them to keep them at this very moment. Especially at this very, very moment, it is beneficial for them to keep those two core players right where they are. So that's my reaction to that. Happy they're staying for now. Smart move, and go Broncos, man. Peace.